Behind me is the beginnings of a restoration project that we're doing out here. This is basically where the water begins. This is the interceptor of all the rainfall that we get, and we do restoration work to repair and rehabilitate some of our damaged ecosystems that are part of that component. We're in the interim stages right now. We're doing the final grades of what started out 2.5, 3 months ago as basically something that looked far different from this, and we'll show you that. We basically started with what is over in the distance there. We've done about 800 acres of restoration, and what we're trying to do is eliminate this willow stand that has come in here because of nutrients that entered into the system years and years ago, back in the 60s, from an alligator farm. And the nutrients got into the system and basically turned what was a wet prairie into a willow swamp. And we manage this whole system from an ecological standpoint to accommodate the Everglades snailkite, which actually needs open wet prairie habitat to hunt and to survive. So what we're trying to do is, piece by piece, march through this area and restore it back to a semblance of what it was from the standpoint of function. This area is normally kind of dry because we like to work in the dry, but what we're doing now is we're still pumping off-site back into the marsh itself. We'll draw this down one more time, finish grade it, and go from there. But this will, in 6 months, be rehydrated and replanted. And we'll come back in about a year and see this thing, what it has become, because that's what the whole thing is of restoration, trying to put back the pieces that we've lost. Everybody thinks that grassy waters is always just marsh, but it actually contains quite a bit of these oak hammocks, and these areas really are utilized quite often and extensively by mammals like deer, bobcats, feral hogs, and wild turkey move through here as well. So there's a lot of diversity here at Grassy Waters, a lot more than what people know. When you start thinking about the city of West Palm Beach, it's 53 square miles, and 24 square miles of that is this type of habitat. So we're really gifted, really blessed with what we've got out here. It's kind of interesting to look over this because a lot of people see this and they think this has always been here. But what I showed you in the distance, the willow was in here so thick that you couldn't even see through it or walk through it. And that was 2 years ago. So it shows you, that we can do restoration on a fairly large scale. This was 165 acres of restoration that took place 2.5 years ago, and it was a big undertaking, but the results, it's all worthwhile.